Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the Mystery Box. Today we're looking at a game called Blue Rider. So I did record this earlier, but XSplit decided it would be a good idea to trash all my footage. So I'm just going to be voicing over a second playthrough of the game. So you control kind of like a top-down, shooty kind of character. It feels a bit like a ghost from Halo, which incidentally was one of my favourite parts of Halo, so that's kind of cool. The controls are nice and tight, they're a little bit floaty, but that's kind of the point, I think. Yeah, I mean, it feels good. It starts out quite simple. It's nice and colourful. It's kind of nice to look at. It reminds me of an old PlayStation 1 game called Overboard, which is odd because this has nothing to do with pirates. I picked this up in a bundle, quite cheap. I can't remember exactly where I got it from, but it's on Steam at the moment for, I think, $6.99. And I think there's 9 levels based on what I saw in the level select screen, so it may not be particularly long. But it's pretty fun, actually. It's quite cool kind of dodging these bullets. They're nicely kind of visualized, they're very easy to see, which is cool. I find that's something a lot of these games get wrong. Sometimes it can be hard to see what it is you're supposed to be dodging. It can be hard to see what is friendly and what's not, and in this game it's pretty obvious because there's not a whole lot else going on, which is cool. The main focus is on dodging those bullets and kind of exploring these small areas, and you can get a few upgrades and stuff like that, which is quite cool. And you have a boost mechanic. Simple stuff, but it goes well together. I think as you get a little bit further in, it starts to ramp up and throw a few kind of, not really puzzles at you, but a few little things to find, and you have to, I think this is the first section where you have to unlock a laser gate, which you do by finding and destroying some power sources. So it's that kind of standard stuff. It gets reasonably difficult the further you get into it, which is kind of cool. And the other thing, you only have one life, and when you die, that is it. You have to go back to the level select screen. You can restart from the same level, but you start without any power-ups. So if a level is particularly difficult, you may have to go back to a previous one, complete it, and then carry across some power-ups. But I haven't found that to be a major problem so far. Yeah, so I'm just kind of working my way through here. These guys aren't too difficult. There's a bit of a trick to dodging them, especially if you're too far away, because the bullets kind of cross over into each other again. And we're coming up on the first boss now. He's a cool kind of cutesy character. You've got a nice little arena to try and kind of fight him in, which is cool. It gives you a little bit of cover. And he throws a few new attacks at you haven't seen yet. I think you can dodge in the middle of those rings, but I was too afraid to try it. And then once you've done a bit of damage to him, he brings out this big kind of cannon, and yeah, and then you have to kind of dodge around in a circle, which is cool. I really like the focus on circle strafing. Kind of made a bit of a joke about that in the first recording that got dumped. But I think any game that encourages circle strafing is a good one, to be honest. Whether it's a first-person shooter or a top-down shooter. Circle strafing is just fun. It makes you feel kind of agile. And then, yeah, so he drops a bunch of stuff. You get some upgrades. I'm not sure what those points are. I don't know if they're experience or anything. And then we move on to the second stage, and we find the game's first and kind of biggest flaw, which is that it seems to be if you play more than a couple of stages in one sitting, this starts to happen. But you can see that hitching there in the frame rate. That is not video. That's not the video. It's the game. And it starts to kind of do this every time you kill something. It will hang, and it gets worse the further you play through a stage. So it gets to the point later on where it's kind of up to 1.5 seconds at a time, maybe 2 seconds, and it's... I'm going to use the word unplayable. It gets unplayable. Fortunately, it does seem like if this happens to you, you can quit and start the level again, but like I said, you lose all your power-ups and points and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's a good solution, and it's a real shame because up until this point I was really enjoying this. This is another kind of laser gate puzzle, which is kind of cool. I'm assuming these get more complicated later on. Hopefully they do anyway, because they're kind of cool. I like simple puzzles like that in these kind of games. But you'll see here where this becomes a huge problem because there's a lot more bullets on the screen this time. And with this kind of hanging every time you kill something, it'll get you killed. You know, you'll start to take a lot of damage by just kind of running into stuff because you couldn't see where it was going because the game was frozen. So that's... I mean, there's not really a lot I can say about that. You can see it for yourself. It's a massive shame. I thought it might be my recording software, but I played it without that and it seemed to do the same thing. And my machine's more than good enough to handle this, so I don't know what the kind of problem is. It must be maybe a memory leak or a resource that's not loaded properly or something. It seems to be anything that explodes when it dies will do this. Yeah, so you can see there it's hanging for like 3 seconds on that turret. And it's just... it ruins the whole game for me, which is a shame. I think if they can fix this, I don't know how long this game's been out, but if this was fixed, I think this would be a really good game, to be honest. I mean, it is a really good game. I was really enjoying it, and I'm going to try and play some more of it, because like I said, I enjoyed it. It feels good, it feels snappy and smooth. It feels responsive, fun to play. It's just this is the only problem with it, I think. And if you can kind of put up with restarting every other level or so because it starts doing this, then I'd recommend this, especially because you can pick it up cheap in a bundle. I don't think I paid more than $1 for it, although it is $6.99 if you just want to go and buy it. Oh yeah, and you can get these cute little flying robot helper things, and they come along and plop bombs down on stuff. Yeah, so he's kind of giving it a go there, which is cool. Although again, you can't really see it because it hitches every time it kills something. You can see this is where it starts to become a real problem. Because there's lots of missiles, lots of cool stuff going on, but I don't know if I dodge something or not. And I think I take a lot of damage here. Oh no, I backed off to try and give the computer a chance to kind of figure out what it wanted to do. But yeah, you can see it completely kills the flow. And to be honest, the only reason I haven't stopped the video sooner than this is because it stops doing this for the second boss, and the second boss is really cool, so I wanted you guys to see that. I think each stage has a boss, and the bosses are kind of... the first one's a bit generic, but the second one starts to showcase a bit more of the character that they've given these bosses. And they've clearly put a lot of effort into these designs and the characters. So, they look really cool, they're colourful, they're imaginative. You get this cool little kind of Mega Man style corridor before you fight the boss here, which is cool. Yeah, so this guy's a bit larger and he has these kind of armoured legs that you can shoot through, but they have cannons on. And the idea is you have to kind of dodge these turrets and wait for an opening. So it kind of starts out a little bit slow, introduces you to the idea that you've got to dodge these things and then look for an opening on the boss. And then he starts shooting at you with these giant cannon things that come out of each of the 4 sides, which is cool. And then you see if you kind of don't really pay attention to them, these huge lasers will come out and kind of do quite a lot of damage to you. And this part's pretty cool. Once you take out all 4 of these, he just starts going berserk. Here you go, so you kind of, each one of those turrets on the shield will shoot something out, and the turrets on the field keep kind of going for you, so it all gets a bit chaotic, which is really, really cool. And it starts to take on this bullet hell kind of form. And you can see in my gameplay, it really took me by surprise. I was not expecting it to devolve into this kind of chaos. And I didn't quite kill him, which is a shame, but it's cool, because I'm definitely planning to give it another try. Like I said, the only problem is that kind of hitching up, so if you can deal with that, I can recommend this. Thanks for watching.